Recording is on. And it is time. And there are a number of participants. Welcome to the awards ceremony portion of the Student History Conference, our 24th annual Student History Conference. I'm Abel Alves, the chairperson of the Department of History. I'm very fortunate to serve in that role, feel very fortunate to serve in that role. And after what I saw today, I continue to be impressed by our community of students and scholars and our ability to reach out when we know we have to other people who can help us too. I'd like to thank a number of people before we go on with the awards. I'd like to thank, first of all, the Student History Conference Committee, Scott Steffen, Emily Johnson, and Jessica Ruther. They have done a wonderful job with our first virtual reality cyberspace Student History Conference. I think it went quite well, to say the least, given the fact that we had to do it this way in a pandemic. I'd like to thank all the chairs and commentators, and I was able to attend some sessions, and my gosh, impressed by the preparation, the ability to tie together the narratives that I saw at the sessions I attended. I'd also like to thank all the guests from around the country and our international guests as well. Old friends visited, well, not the same people, but new friends from an old cohort. Western Ontario in Canada actually participated this year. Some new schools participated, Allegheny College, and traditional standbys, people that have always been here, Butler and Hanover and others also participated. So thank you for all the individuals who presented from these wonderful schools across the country and in Canada. I'd also like to thank Carrie Williams, the administrative coordinator, and Sharon Boyd, the department secretary, for their work. And definitely, not least, even though they're last here, Joel Whitesell and Charles Allen of Unified Communications, who pointed us in the right direction for running webinars on Zoom, as opposed to the way we normally run or don't run so well our classes on Zoom. Anyway, thanks to all of you. And now I'd like to introduce and thank my colleague here of many years, Associate Dean Kevin Smith, who taught in the history department for many years, was chairperson of the department, is still missed as our errant diplomatic historian and World War II historian. There are still people who come looking for him, and he's not there. So without further ado, well, but you're doing important things. Without further ado, I cede the floor to Associate Dean Smith, and he will conclude the ceremony ably.
Thank you. I'd like to point out that, Abel, thank you for that generous introduction. I'd like to point out that the bottom of my screen may say Maureen McCarthy. I am not Maureen McCarthy. She is the dean of the college, and she would have very much liked to have been here, but she was unavoidably detained this afternoon, and I am acting on her behalf and congratulating you for this conference and also especially the award winners. The undergraduate award goes to McKenna Cruz for Kasari Marriages on the Gold Coast, the relationships that memorialize Danish men on the Gold Coast in the mid-1800s. The award for Best Undergraduate Paper goes to McKenna Cruz. For her senior seminar paper, McKenna researched the phenomenon of Kasari marriages, unions in Atlantic West Africa between European men and African women during the era of the slave trade. McKenna's nuanced analysis of a wide range of both written and visual primary sources impressed the awards committee. Furthermore, her argument in this paper grasps the pragmatic realities of these unions and the complex emotional attachments that individual European male participants in them could develop for their African partners despite their racism. She also raises an important historiographical point, that the record is so androcentric that it is hard to get an accurate view of Kasari unions, since she and other historians only have documents from the European men. This award recognizes McKenna's creative analysis of sources and her critical engagement with methodological issues at the core of historical writing. McKenna developed her interest in this topic when a history course on comparative slavery introduced her to cassette unions. Years later, she decided to research and write about it for her senior seminar paper in Atlantic history. McKenna is currently a student teacher in Muncie Community Schools, where she has brought her knowledge of African and other diverse histories to high school students in Muncie. McKenna will graduate this spring and has many options open to her, including acceptance into an MA program in public history, which I understand she's going to be pursuing at American University in Washington, D.C. Bravo, McKenna, and good luck in your future pursuits. The Graduate Award, and there we pause for virtual applause. There we go. The Graduate Award goes to Lucas Colley for Politics and Patriotism, the creation of the Indiana World War Memorial. The award for Best Graduate Student Paper. His submission examines the history of the Indiana World War Memorial in Indianapolis. Drawing on meticulous primary and secondary source research, Colley delves into the multifaceted motivations that spurred the construction and design of the memorial. He offers a close reading of the memorial itself, as well as the primary documents concerning the memorial, and does an exemplary job of contextualizing this case study within its broader historical and historiographical contexts. Lucas is a second-year master's student in Ball State's public history program. He has curated multiple exhibits as an intern at the Early Ford V8 Foundation Museum in Auburn, Indiana, and in cooperation with the Ball State Archives and Special Collections. His award-winning paper is drawn from the research for his thesis, which he plans to complete this spring. Congratulations, Lucas. Oh, and yes, the virtual applause can now come now.
Unless there are any questions for our award winners, and it's well earned and well deserved. Congratulations, Lucas. Congratulations, McKenna. Unless there are any questions, I think this concludes our very first virtual reality student history conference and our 24th student history conference. One way or another, we were going to do it this year, and we did get it off the ground successfully. It happened. Thank you, Emily Johnson. I see your face there. You were chair last year. You were a great member of the committee this year. And I know Professor Ruther's out there. Thank you. And I'm sure Professor Stefan is too. Thanks again to all of you. And thank you, Associate Dean Smith, for showing up too. At this point, I guess I can say goodbye to all. I don't see any questions. Oh, Professor Etchison says congratulations. So you know we're here lauding you as you deserve it. And thanks again, everyone. Good night. Have a good weekend. Be well.